Welcome to Ask the Expert with noted radio host Steve Sleeper. Each week, Steve interviews entrepreneurs and professionals and shares their intriguing stories of success and service. Now, here's radio veteran Steve Sleeper.
Our guest today is Ramiro Rodriguez, the owner of Georgia Injury Advocates. His firm has extensive experience providing effective legal representation to those who need it most. Georgia Injury Advocates is recognized as fierce advocates fighting to safeguard the well-being and rights of injured victims. I began the interview by asking Attorney Rodriguez to give us some background on himself and his firm.
When I set out to do this, I wanted to be the best friend for anyone that's injured against the insurance company. Because one thing I found out early on in life is that the insurance company was not on your side, and a lot of people don't know that. And so it was just easy for me to help people that were injured because I'm always the good guy here. You know, there's no way I can hurt someone. So that's what we set out to do, and that's what we've been doing now for about 20 years. And we do it with a completely bilingual staff because when I got to Georgia, I found out a lot of people were calling me because my last name is Rodriguez. They were calling me in Spanish. And so since the beginning, I started with a bilingual staff, and we still do 50-50, 50% English speaking, 50% Spanish speaking.
You talked a little bit about this, that the insurance companies aren't my friends. So could you further expound on why a person needs an attorney if they've been in an accident?
Well, when you hire an attorney, we're going to deal with the insurance company on your behalf. And we're going to make sure that the client receives the compensation which they're entitled. An insurance company, they may try to obtain a statement from you, hoping that you're going to inadvertently admit full or partial liability for the accident. That's their job. And this can have an impact on you even if you hire a lawyer later on. So we always recommend that it's much better off getting an attorney to be the mediator in between you and the insurance company, because you say something wrong and they're trained to try to pull this information out of you, your whole case is going to be sacrificed.
So how do I pay for a lawyer in a personal injury case?
So this is one of the main things I enjoyed about going into the personal injury business, that a person who's injured doesn't have to come out of pocket at all. We work by a percentage of what money that we obtain for you. So if by chance we're not able to obtain you any money, you're not going to owe us anything. It just makes it so much easier to talk to clients so that they don't have to worry about that all I'm trying to do is line my pockets, because I'm trying to help them. If I'm able to help them, then I get paid. If I can't help them, they don't have to worry about paying my bill.
Okay, so how do I know if I have a case?
A lot of times you don't. And I say that because a case can be very complicated on, one, whether you were at fault or not. I've had clients that thought they were at fault and they were not. A lot of times the best thing to do is call an attorney, because in personal injury, we don't charge for the consultation. So you can just call us, let us know how the accident happened, and we'll let you know. Because another thing that we've ran into is a lot of times the person thinks that the other person that they felt was responsible for the accident doesn't have insurance. And so at that time, they think they don't have a case. But a lot of times we can find insurance or someone else that's responsible. So that's why it's usually best to consult with an attorney.
So what do I do if an insurance adjuster calls me? And when I say insurance adjuster, the other guys, let's say somebody ran into me, the other guy's at fault, his insurance adjuster calls me. How do I deal with that?
Well, what I would tell them is that you're not prepared to talk to them because you want to first talk to an attorney. A lot of times people think that that's going to make them sound bad, but it isn't. It's going to make you sound intelligent. If you were going to go and buy a business and start signing contracts, you would get an attorney, and it's going to make you look very intelligent because you're thinking ahead. The same thing with an adjuster. You just tell them, hey, look, I don't feel comfortable talking to you yet. I want to call an attorney first. And you call an attorney, and if the attorney doesn't feel you have any kind of case and thinks you should just talk to the adjuster, he'll let you know. But if they think in the contrary that maybe you do have a case, then the attorney will talk to the insurance company for you. And again, it's at no cost.
Let's talk about this accident I've been in. Some guy ran at red lights, slammed into me. Let's say he hit the passenger side. I'm the only one in the car. I can get out of the car and, look around and talk to people. Are there some things I should keep in mind in that kind of scenario? Should I take pictures? What do I do?
Absolutely. Assess whether there's injuries or not, because if there is injuries, either in your vehicle or the other person's vehicle, first thing you need to do is call 911 to get an ambulance on their way. Make sure you call the police department, because you're going to want a copy of a police report. Whether it was your fault or the other person's fault, you want a copy of the police report. The insurance company is going to ask for it. You want to get the other driver's information. We get about 5 to 10 cases every single year where the person gets hit, they pull over to the side of the road, they talk a little bit, and then all of a sudden that other driver just drives away. And the person did not get a license plate, driver's license, or anything. So one of the very first things is get the driver's information. Nowadays, with the smartphones, I always recommend just take a picture of their driver's license, take a picture of their license plate, take a picture of their car, and take a picture of the scene of the accident. None of this stuff is going to make you look bad. Again, this is going to make you look intelligent, because anyone that's been in an accident before knows that all this information is very important. Afterwards, even though you're walking around your car, you might find that the next day you wake up and you can't move. Very normal. It's just like when you work out. When you work out and you stress your muscles out, that day you may not be sore. But by the next day or the third day, you can't move. It's the same thing that happens in an accident. So don't feel bad that you didn't go to the doctor on the very first day. Go to the doctor as soon as you start feeling the pain, and they'll take care of that for you. Now, you do want to call your own insurance company once you have an accident, because in your contract it says you'll let them know whether it was your fault or somebody else's fault, or you don't know whose fault it is, that you'd let them know anytime there's an accident. So that's another thing you may want to do. After that, I would call a personal injury lawyer, because they're going to help you throughout the rest of the process.
Ramiro, as we're speaking, we're a few months, maybe 3 months into the COVID-19 crisis. So with that in mind, is your office open right now? How are you meeting with clients? How are you dealing with that?
Well, I'll tell you, I learned my lesson back when the internet first started. I was doing fine. I was in all the yellow pages, either the back of the yellow page or the spine. And then the internet came out. And I was like, what do I need that for? Well, within the next year or two, when all the yellow pages went under, I figured out I was very late to respond. And so now I never wait. If something's happening, I try to be the first to react. So as soon as I heard that other countries were starting to shut down, and that it was a possibility for us to shut down, we got everything into the cloud, and we got everybody a Microsoft Surface Pro so that everyone could work from home. So what we do is, if you hired us or you want to hire us, all you got to do is call us, and then from there we can FaceTime you, or we can just talk on the phone. We send you the document through DocuSign, which is electronic format, to your email so you can sign our contract. We tell you which doctors are near you if you need a doctor, and we get the case going. So everything can be done without you even stepping foot in our office. So no, we are up and running. We did not have not one day of shutdown because of the COVID-19.
Is it delaying claims, or how's that working for you?
No, I don't find that it's delaying claims. The only ones that are getting delayed is the ones that we have to go to litigation for. So in my office, if by chance we can't negotiate the case, meaning without filing a lawsuit, which, by the way, 95% of our cases we're able to negotiate because we've been in business for a long time. But there is that 5% that we just have to file a lawsuit because insurance companies not being fair. Those are being delayed because for quite a while the courts shut down. And so we couldn't even file the lawsuit. The cases that we did have in litigation, they're delayed also. But in litigation, 2 or 3 months delay is not that big a deal because most of the time these things take 2 to 3 years to resolve anyway. So those are being delayed a little bit, but your regular cases, no, everything's been going fine.
Our thanks to personal injury attorney Ramiro Rodriguez for being on Ask the Expert today. Call attorney Rodriguez for a free consultation at 770-528-0811.
Thanks for listening to Ask the Expert with Steve Sleeper. Join us next time as entrepreneurs and professionals share their intriguing stories of success and service.